Good evening, beautiful beings, and welcome to another episode of Paranormal and Proud. I'm your host, Serena, and I want to thank you for joining me for another episode. Tonight, we are going to do something just a little bit different. I had the pleasure and the great opportunity to record a podcast episode with a good friend of mine by the name of Ricky. He has his own podcast called Anything is Possible, the A.I.P Podcast. Definitely put his link in the show notes. And it was a blast. We kind of just shot the breeze and chatted it up for a little bit and kind of talked about our own podcasts and just told some stories and had a great time doing it. Definitely gonna do it again. I actually met Ricky through a show called Troubled Minds, and that happens to be the radio network. I'm on the KUAP Digital Broadcasting Troubled Minds Radio. It's a really great community. They have a Discord and everything, and you can chat it up with the members, and the regulars are quite fantastic. And Ricky happened to be part of that group, and we struck up a friendship. We're both podcasters, and we have a lot of interests in common, so we decided that we were going to collaborate on a podcast together. And it was a little rocky as far as the audio went, because we literally were using the Zoom record for the first time ever, so that was a little interesting, but it was a learning experience, and we had a great time doing it. Now remember, my friends, you can find me on almost any podcast platform. I got my link tree in the show notes. You can find me on pretty much everything except for Apple. Unfortunately, that is still something I haven't really figured out yet, but if anybody has any insight on that, feel free to let me know. Alright, my friends, my beautiful, beautiful friends, sit back and relax and enjoy this fun learning experience of a podcast I did with my good friend Ricky. Okay. That was right into my ear. Oh my God.
I can cut this. We can cut this first part out, but or we leaving
I
in.
am.
I don't know. We are learning here
That almost made me
with
fall off
our
my couch.
with our first joint venture podcast, you know, or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's definitely an adventure.
With the A.I.P Podcast, anything is possible, and
Paranormal and proud. Yeah,
um,
basically means I'm weird and paranormal, and I'm proud of it.
there you go.
Mhm.
And we're
All
trying to
right.
figure this thing out as we go, learning,
Yes. Brand new. Pretty cool though.
trying to learn.
Trying to definitely. All right.
But as
So
always,
should
with the AIP, we can talk about anything. And so we're going to probably talk about any random thing we can in the next 30 minutes or less
yeah.
before we get
Yeah,
kicked
I
off.
know.
Before we
I
get
know.
kicked
It's
off of here, uh,
probably gonna yell in our ear. All right. So shall we talk about our podcasts?
yes, yes,
All
let's
right.
do it.
Let's do it. All right. So Ricky, you do anything that's possible.
Yes.
And what does that mean for my listeners who have never heard you before?
Eventually, I want to grow like to the point of just different people coming on and talking and just discussing different subjects. I've been real lucky. Like I've had I had a religious debate one time. Well, not debate, just discussion. Really, it wasn't even a debate, but it was like a with a wide variety of people from even from pagans to witches and Christians, and all in the same little. We're all sitting outside, and we just got together, and like there's a whole bunch of different thought process of like religion. We're sitting there and just having a conversation with no anger, no yelling, and I like that concept of hey, I have my ideas, I have my personal views, and then somebody else can have their personal views, but they don't encroach on my views and don't get angry because of mine, and I don't get angry because of theirs. And I want to do
Yeah,
more of
isn't
that.
that is such a concept nowadays. People get so offended if you don't have the same opinion as they do. And
Oh,
that's one of the things. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
it's a bit much. Like I always preach, when I always try to say something positive on my podcast other than, the story I'm telling. And, it's like we can all have different opinions and different views without being wrong. Just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that they are wrong. There's so many different things out there that who knows what exactly is right,
Yeah, I
especially when it
mean,
comes to religion.
yeah, I mean, it's different what they've been through, life experiences, and if one person's been through certain things, they can't con- try to conceive what this other person's been through and see the same point of view. If somebody's been, you know, as a child was beaten every day, and then you have another person that was in a good, loving home that hugged them every day. Neither one really understands what the other person's even been through because, like, I didn't,
Right,
one kid, I didn't get any hugs. I don't even know what a hug is. And the other kid, I never had a hand laid to me, and so their
right.
mind process and the way their mind is brought in is just they especially most people view things with their own little blinders, and that they're of what they understand, and that's it. And they'll really open up a little bit and see that hey, there's other things too, but sometimes
No,
that's a blessing and a curse when you can see open because there's so much terrible negativity out there. But yeah,
yeah,
that's
there's not.
my goal with my podcast is it's just sit there and just talk about whatever. And if somebody needs hear something or a subject, I'll be here to try to put my spin on it really and see what happens really.
Yeah, your messages are always, they always have, heartfelt, positive, sometimes it's a little sad. Like the other day, you were talking about, what losing people and everything, but it's always got something like, you lose people, but that means life is short. You should always tell somebody you love them and, you know, tell them that how you feel about them and not miss chances like that. And I really, it's like I appreciate your messages. They really make you think. You're kind of like a
Yeah,
starting kind of thing, and it's really nice.
that's all my goal is. You know, is to make somebody just look at my view just a little bit, open their mind, or just think about it. And I know I've had a few people. I had a whole lot of listeners, but I've had a few people, and they always come to me positive. It's oh, I didn't even
Hmm.
think about that, or I didn't think about that situation, and in that light, and just open their minds and make them think more. Try to be more positive, or um, like on that, just try to hopefully they call somebody, somebody calls somebody they love and say, hey, hey, I love you because we are, it's just a moment of time, really. We're
Yeah, life
here,
is
so
short. I know it's funny, like my family has this belief, like you've heard the belief that if you see a cardinal, it's somebody that is, saying hello from the other side. And also my family's really into deer hunting. And my aunt that passed away, she always, when we'd go on trips or something, even if it was to the grocery store, she'd be like, watch for deer, kids. And I remember one day I was driving through the park on my way to work. I drive through a parkway, and there was a few doe at the edge of the woods, and they were just staring at me as I drove by them. And then all of a sudden, a cardinal flies past my car, and that kind of inspired me to call my mom. And I just like, "Hey, mom, I saw some deer and I saw a cardinal." And my aunt passed away about 7 years ago, And, she was the one who'd always say, watch for deer. And that was my mom's sister. So she's like, oh, Linda's saying hi, call your mom. So I called her and chatted with her for a little bit. She lives 15 minutes from where I live still, but we don't talk every day. And it was just kind of like a little inspiration, like, hey, just thinking about you, saw some deer and a cardinal, kind of felt right to call you.
Yeah, I had
So,
my mom had a situation years ago. Like she had um, yeah, it was a dog. I'm trying to remember. It was a dog cat. It was a dog that passed away, and she wouldn't even think about it. But she was like running late for work, and running late for somewhere. She wasn't going to work. She's going late, and then she come outside and like and seen the dog out there. She's like, okay, well let me go get you some food, and went in the house, brought out some food, and it was gone. It was disappeared, like nowhere in sight. Mom walked around the yard and was looking and looking for this animal. And she was like, well, I got to go. I got somewhere I got to be. And she jumped in her car. And about the time that she got held up, there was a wreck on the interstate, and it was a bad wreck. So she could have been right in the middle, possibly killed because of that wreck. And because of
right.
that animal decided to say hi and keep her there at the house just a little bit longer, just long enough. It's
Yeah, you never know.
no, you know,
And so,
animals can be used and for positive for sure.
oh yeah, that's why they like therapeutic and everything. It's pretty amazing what they can do for you.
Like
I always say the world.
even on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge,
I'm such a big sap when it comes to dogs. Like I love true crime, but whenever it comes to animals and kids being hurt, I can't deal with that. I can listen to a book. I listen to a lot of books at work sometimes because I can have my headphones in all day. And there's this one book, and it was kind of a sad story, but it was it was fictional, but it was kind of based off of Columbine. And they're talking about the teenager that did the school shooting and everything, but they're talking about like kind of his childhood and everything. The whole book, it touched me obviously, it was emotional, but only part that I actually cried during was the time where he was talking about how his dad had to put his dog down in front of him. Like the whole book, I'm fine. It's like emotional, sad, but then you're like, I literally was at work and I'm tearing up as I'm filling prescriptions and everything. And I'm just like, oh my God, not the dog. She's just like, I'm such a sap, especially when it comes to dogs and cats, animals in general. The world is not good enough for dogs because they are some of the most amazing creatures.
no, we don't deserve animals. We really don't. We treat them like terrible. There's a lot of amazing people that treat them. My mom's one of
Hmm.
them where she's always rescue groups, and she's had people like pull in front of her house and just throw animals out of their door into her yard
Wow.
and drive off. And hey, we got we got a new friends. When I was a kid,
Wow.
I seen that a lot. Like well, they're in the country, so they can take care of themselves. No, that probably what's going to happen is a hawk or something is going to eat the poor thing. It's sad.
Right.
That people
Poor
don't.
Coyote.
Well, they're animal. They've been domesticated. They've been sitting in a house being told the only thing the food they know is this bowl.
Hmm.
It's sad. But I've seen a lot of terrible things. But yeah, we don't deserve animals. We really don't. And the few good people that try to take care of them, like my mom, is just
It's
few and
not
far
enough.
between.
Yeah. I know if I could, like I had to fight to get our cat that we have in our apartment. I mean, if I could, I would have an animal sanctuary because they don't allow pets. So I had to get him certified as emotional support animal and everything. But yeah, if I could, I would have dogs and cats and animals. It would be amazing.
Just had to move out to the country one day and
Yeah.
have a zoo.
I grew up I grew up out in the country. I grew up kind of in the boondocks, but my parents were we always had a dog. We had couple cats for a while, but it was like they wouldn't let us have a zoo. But the neighbors up the road, kind of had a zoo. They had ducks that would end up by my parents' bird feeders. They had domesticated rabbits that would end up in the yard and stuff. It was pretty entertaining. All of a sudden you'd hear like this quacking running towards and like this sound. The
Mm-hmm.
ducks would be all coming over to eat at the bird feeders. Really,
Wow.
have your animals. Like, it's great that you got them, but keep them in your yard. Freaking coyotes gonna come and eat them. You know, they
Yeah.
got a field behind their house. There's coyotes out there.
And
They're barking at night.
I had some chickens. I was renting like 14 acres out in the country a while back. I had like a little acre lake and had a shop.
Nice.
And I was tiny house living right there. I had my little camper. I was sitting there, so I had everything I needed. I had a lake, I had a shop, and I had my little tiny house. It was just me. So,
Sounds
and
amazing.
a friend of mine, he's like, "Man, can I come move my camper on there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care." So he moved his camper, and he's like, "Can I get chickens?" I'm like, "I don't care." So he had chickens, and he put the little pen right beside his camper. Well, one day he decided to move his camper. When he did, he broke the pen. We had little chickens running
Hmm.
all around. We're
Oh
chasing baby
no.
chickens around, but he was working on a pen, a bigger one, so
Hmm.
they could have. And he went on to put the chickens in, and he didn't have it secure, and them poor
Oh
things got
no.
destroyed, absolutely
Uh,
destroyed. I don't
that's
know what got them poor little things, but it was heartbreaking. They come in, it's just like, where's all the baby little chickens? And he was like, it's Ricky, it was a massacre. I was like, oh,
that's that's so sad.
it is. I was like, all right, no more of that. I don't want that to happen again.
Oh man, I can't imagine. I'd probably lose it.
Yeah, it was rough.
Hmm. So that sounds pretty amazing. Living in a camper by a lake.
Yeah, the old camper wasn't. Eh, I bought an old camper from a friend of mine, like $500, and they had all the stuff that needed to fix it. So I fixed it up and redid the floors. Redid everything. I stayed in it for a while, and uh, then I bought like a brand new camper and moved it there. And then I was like, I'm just tired of it. I was getting a little tired of tiny home life. I'm like, well, if I need to, in my mind, I was like, well, if I can't help nobody. Nobody can come stay with me or something like that. If somebody needs a place to stay or something, I was like, I'm living in a tiny house or something. And
Yeah.
then I found this house here, so here I am. Moved states and moved about an hour away from where I was.
Where were you before?
But then moved the gym about a half a mile from my house. So now I have a on my other side of things is I teach martial arts. So I have a gym that's half a mile from my house, so I can ride a bike to it, and if I want to.
That's amazing.
115-degree heat. I'm not riding no bike in it, but eh.
Yeah. It is hot up here too. We got that Tennessee heat up in Wisconsin. I think you sent it up here.
Yeah, it's rough. But I think
Yeah.
2 more days. I think I seen and it's supposed to drop. So
Yeah, we
hopefully,
had a little bit of drops with a cold front come through, but yeah. So
we still got 2 more days of 115-degree heat index tomorrow and Saturday.
yeah, that was
Yay!
us yesterday. Today, nope. Ugh. God, I work in a nice air conditioned pharmacy. My day job. Can't quit my day job, that's for sure.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that sounds amazing. The podcast is great. Yeah, I love your stories.
Appreciate it. What about you with your podcast? Talk about yours.
So it's called Paranormal and Proud. And I basically talk about anything weird. I love cryptids. I love hauntings. I love aliens, alien stories, alien abductions. One of my episodes is on movie curses, like the curse of the poltergeist and the exorcist, some classic ones, and like even a movie that never was made because people kept dying. Actors literally kept dying because it was so, I don't know, it was just never meant to be kind of thing. It's really interesting. And a few of my locations that I did podcasts on, I actually got to visit, which is really cool. My first episode was on the Beast of Bray Road, and a few weeks ago, a month ago, I think it was, there's a festival on that area. I was leaving the festival and I'm like, I have to take a detour. I got to go
Yeah.
down Bray Road, down Elkhorn, Wisconsin. And so I drove down that road. I was really excited. And then I visited Devil's Den State Park down in Arkansas. I did an episode on that, and that was basically an alien abduction episode. Obviously, we were there for like an hour. So there's a storm rolling in, and it was in the morning. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see any alien abductions, but it's really beautiful down there. I don't know if you've ever been down in Arkansas or southern Missouri, but
Oh
oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah. My instructor. He's actually he's stationed out of Arkansas, and I go over there. It's around Little Rock, and then
Yeah,
so I'll go usually if I go there, and then I'll do some training, and I'll go to Hot Springs and go chill at Hot Springs for a night or something like that, just to get away.
that
Which
was
Hot
actually
Springs is
beautiful.
probably one of the hottest places in the area, I think. But
Yeah.
there's all the water underneath it, and
Hmm.
all the uh, mob killings and stuff. There's quite a bit of stories and stuff you hear. I went
Right.
there and went to get a hotel room, and the lady was just talking, just rambling to me about the Arrington Hotel, and like her boyfriend uh, works works there, and all the stuff that he's seen and all the weird stuff, and just uh, I'm like, well, I guess I ain't staying there. I stay outside of town. But
Yeah, when we were coming back up from Devil's Den, my boyfriend reminded me, hey, the Crescent Hotel is like an hour out of the way. I'm like, oh, we're definitely stopping there. It was the coolest. Like you walk in and it's just so historical and so beautiful. You got an old antique looking fireplace, and the grounds are just phenomenal. And that one sits on limestone. It sits on a limestone cliff. Plus, it's got the mineral springs running underneath it, which is supposedly the full curing, cured everything for people back then.
oh
So
yeah,
it's like basically this hotel sitting on like a giant battery. And, if you've ever heard of the stone tape theory, where that granite and limestone basically, it stores all of that in, when it comes to residual hauntings. But it's really cool because, it's got a really dark history, which is cool because a lot of people died. So it was a cancer hospital. This charlatan guy decided that he was going to cure cancer by using this mix of, I believe it was the mineral water mixed with some watermelon seeds crushed up and some alcohol, basically. And he'd injected them these people, and they weren't getting cured whatsoever. They were dying. So, places, I guess it's supposed to be haunted, very haunted. And they had like a morgue in the basement, and they had all these jars full of like when the people would die, he would take out the cancerous tumor, and they would put it in a jar full of formaldehyde, and they found a whole bunch of them. So it's like this place has so much. I mean, even if it's not super haunted, it's got so much interesting history and a lot of sad history, but also a lot of cool
yeah,
history. Yeah, because this guy ended up getting put in jail and everything. So he got his after making money off of dying people.
yeah. A lot of people
But
done that over history. All them snake salesmen and stuff over the history. It,
yeah,
even to this day, there's still people doing the same thing.
selling snake oil. Oh my God. I mean, even they've got these stores around here. I'm sure they're in most malls. They're like the Egyptian stores. They sell all kinds of really cool knockoff artifacts and everything like that. But they've got all these perfumes and stuff and these oils that are supposed to like be aphrodisiacs, and they're supposed to cure this and make you feel better. This, and I bought one that was like this perfume that was like supposed to be worn by, the queens of Egypt and everything. It just gave me a headache. It's like, no, Queen of Egypt smells like a headache.
You might, you know.
Yeah. Like, well, maybe she was just a pain in the butt and gave everybody a headache. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hard to say. But yeah, that was her
It
looking.
messes us in the mind. That's what a lot of people use to try to, you know, get people to do that. You know, oh, yeah, this will work, and so somebody convinces themselves so much that it works that sometimes they'll ignore symptoms and stuff like that just because they want to believe so much. You know, it's like
Yeah.
cultish. You know, really on that kind of thing.
And there's also the placebo effect. The human brain is a very interesting, complex organ. I mean, I don't even think science has been able to completely explain the human brain. They have the basic understanding of it, but it's just like you can will something to happen so often. Like you're given a placebo, you have no idea it's a placebo, you think it's the real thing, and you start feeling better when they're doing,
Mm,
double blind studies and everything. It's amazing, and then obviously for curing cancer, it's cancer is such an aggressive, awful disease, and drinking mineral water, being told that it's going to cure you is not going to cure you, kind of thing.
yeah.
Unfortunately, cancer is hard to cure. It typically does not just go away on its own.
Mm-mm.
It's, meds and
There have
applications.
been some pretty amazing miracles sometimes, but
Oh,
they're far and
sure.
few between.
Yeah, I mean, my uncle was supposed to, he wasn't expected to live very long. He had something called the glioblastoma, which is a very aggressive brain tumor that, it's survivable, but you put up a fight to survive it. And like he had like a small brain surgery, didn't remove very much. And then he did the chemo, like the pill chemo, and he was in remission so fast. They couldn't believe how fast he was in remission. It's pretty amazing. It was one of those ones that's like, you're gonna be up for a long fight. If you survive, it's gonna be a fight. And sure enough, he had a scan done and they're like, wow, you're in remission. It didn't take long at all. So that was pretty cool. It felt like a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of stuff. And then there's stuff that people don't even realize they have. Like the doctor I used to work with, her husband was the most healthy person. He ran marathons, he scuba dived, he did all kinds of amazing stuff. He was a veterinarian and always was healthy, never smoked, didn't really drink, lived a very healthy lifestyle. Died from a massive heart attack that they didn't even know that he was having blockages in his artery and everything. So it's just like that kind of stuff can happen or miracles can happen. Life is just so
It's,
unbelievable sometimes.
yeah, no doubt. And like I don't know. Well, I look at it. I look at everything. Everything should have balance. I mean, like you can't go one extreme to the other. Like, I mean, you can, I guess, but it's like, if like you said, the most healthiest person in the world, they've had that happen all the time. I mean, they can fall,
Hmm.
drop in 20 something years old. And then you
Yeah,
got somebody that smoked cigars and drank every day of their life for the last 80 years, and they live until they're 95 years old. And
yeah,
it's like, well, how does that, make sense? That's why I
exactly.
look at like, okay, there's a balance. So
Hmm.
uh, what I
Absolutely
do, I
is.
don't eat the best, but I actually do work out and train. So I try to counterbalance
Right.
everything, and which everybody believes just they can't. Uh, that's seen my eating habits and stuff, and they're like, "How are you? And you're gonna have blah 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 blah." Okay, whatever. All right. And I go do a physical every year, like a full panel physical. Everything comes out
Yeah.
clean as a whistle. All my liver, all that stuff. They do ultrasounds of my glands and everything. Everything's
Uh,
perfect. And they're like, "How's that possible?" I'm like, "Dr. Pepper. That's all I know. Just Dr. Pepper is the only the key to life." It's what that 102-year-old woman said at one time. Seen a video. She was 102, and she was like, the guy was like, and she starts taking a sip right there in the little interview. The guy was like, "You drinking Dr. Pepper?" She's like, "Yeah, it's good. It's got sugar in it." And two doctors told me that I would die if I kept drinking it, and they're dead now, and I'm not. So, like,
What's that gonna tell you?
I'm like, okay. I was like, well, hell, I'm gonna live forever then. If she's 102 drinking it all the time and drinking 3 a day, I drink 6, 7 a day, and so I ought to live forever. It just
Do you think maybe you're just pickling yourself from the inside, like your organs?
well, I get them checked though. I get them ultrasound. I get them checked. I get all the blood work, everything, all my liver, kidneys, all that stuff.
Preserving them.
I guess I don't know.
That's awesome. I get proud of myself lately because I drink more water during the day. It's like my big, I'm doing better. I'm drinking more
Yeah,
water, but
it's the little
it's
things that count.
something.
Yeah, it's the little
Exactly.
things that count.
I mean, I work full time. I'm a mom. I do this podcasting thing. It's like I do my best. I guess when you wake up every day, just putting your best foot forward, saying, you know what, life isn't perfect, but I love it, and I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to do my best to make people smile because that's, even if like I don't make everybody laugh or everybody smile, if you just get that one person to laugh or crack a smile or something, bring a little bit of cheer, brightness to their day, because I get the whole mental health thing. I deal with that myself, and I know a lot of people that deal with it. And I know that sometimes, you don't know what people are going through. And sometimes people
Mm.
just need that little bit of light, little bit of brightness temporarily just to be like, okay, it's not so bad. I got a reason to smile, even if I'm acting like a goofball kind of thing.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. I always say on all the time is like you gotta keep on keeping on, and you know, and you really, like you said, you never know what you're gonna do, what like uh, how you can touch somebody with just something simple. I remember there was a little kid come up to my mom. My mom used to be a librarian, and until she retired, we'll just put it that way. But they turned around and he come up there and I was just talking to him and I think mom said something to him if I remember right, and then he just started talking to me about martial arts and this, and I just started talking to him back. He was probably like 6, 7 years old or something like that. I was talking to him back. I mean, uh, and uh, and come to find out, like he after that conversation, he went and started doing martial arts, and like to this day, he's still doing it. Like it
oh,
motivated him to do it, and it's like mom posted a little thing on Facebook every once in a while, kind of reminder stuff, and it's kind of it's like this reminds me like just a little moment of goodness, a little moment of kindness can go a long way and make somebody go. You know, there's a lot of people on a teetering edge. Uh,
oh yeah, you never know.
kind of uh, I also look at like Frank Castle and the Punisher. Is like just one bad day you could turn somebody and go bad and go very bad.
Oh
Or
yeah.
if somebody is on that edge and bouncing across on that edge, you can actually make them come back and be on and
Mhm.
uh be all right again. You never know when it's going to happen, but you can't be like, well, I got to do. No, you just got to go with the flow, but try to put your, I think, put your best foot forward all the time as best you can. Life gets in the way, and life is cause you to be upset sometimes, but you
Yes,
can't do your
definitely.
best, but it happens. But just try, you try to, you know,
Yeah, I know. We all have our down
it
days. I
makes a
definitely
difference.
do. Yeah, it
You always hear
does.
about it.
I mean, when I'm having a down day, sometimes a friend at work or something will kind of notice, Oh, she's being extra quiet today. What's going on? Just do something goofy to make me laugh. Okay, I'm like, no, all right, I needed that. It's great. I needed that in my life today. Just something goofy because at my job we have no trouble roasting each other and kind of picking at each other. And it's nice because nobody takes offense to it. It's not one of those things where everybody's like, oh no. No, we just goof off. We have fun sometimes, like pull out and some people pull out a Nerf gun or something goofy like that. Oh yeah. I mean,
We don't do that at work, but we'll cut up a lot of times and stuff, or I'll just talk, be joking with truck driver and stuff. I got truck drivers on the CB radio and stuff. Like one several years ago, he if he hears this, he's gonna beat me up. But he figured he was on the phone and forgot to put his bed down, and he hit a brand new bridge with his. He didn't hurt the bridge, but he ripped the fifth wheel and stuff and trailer off the brand new interstate right around here, and he ripped the trailer right off the truck. And
oh
so
no.
was it yesterday? I said something, and I heard, and I thought about it, and I was messing with one of our truck drivers, and I said something to him. I said, well, he can't be close because he would have said something to me. And if it wasn't 2 minutes later, I heard him on the radio talk to that same truck driver, and I called all hard at that truck driver. And I was like, hey man, I said, watch out for bridges. And he started going off and telling me he's gonna beat me up and everything, and just cutting up. And I said, well,
Oh
that's all right, with all that viral video with that boat fight and everything. I said, well, I got two
yeah.
folding chairs in here waiting for you, buddy. And he was like, I'll take a rain check then. And then he just, just, he's just being silly and stuff. I've known all these guys for almost 20 years,
Yeah.
and we have fun and talk crap, uh,
Oh man.
it's
That's great
it's a
though.
good time. Used to have one. He was God rest his soul. He'd come in and he would get on the radio, and he would talk crap to everybody, and everybody would yell, just and raise 10 kinds of hell. And he'd get
Oh
to the window
man.
for me to hand a ticket out, and he would be laughing. He was laughing so hard he's crying. He was just, and I just bust out laughing too, and had his ticket and just go on.
Nice.
He got cancer several years ago, and last time I got to really talk to him, he come in the office and stuff, and he was just kind of down, and he
Yeah.
come in there and heard a couple of the truck drivers. He normally talk mess, and I was like, grab that mic, give him hell, and he got on there and started raising 10 kinds of hell, and he
There
just
you
kind of
go.
perked up and felt good. But that was the
Mm-hmm.
last time I got to see him really like that. But
That's
mhm.
good. You had that little last fun time that you can remember him by.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
It's always
Just
important.
different time now.
Most definitely. Well,
But
how we doing on time? Speaking of time.
uh, yeah. Speaking of time, we got less than 3 minutes now. So
Wow, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
yes, no doubt, no doubt. The
Well,
ones that are wondering,
yes.
I haven't paid for Zoom yet, so we have a 40-minute window. So if this goes
Which is
well, I might spend that dollar, a couple dollars, and see how it goes. But since I'm
Voila.
experimenting right now, no reason to spend the money. But I guess go ahead, and if you want to do an outro, go ahead and um, say your
Well,
piece.
I mean, I didn't plan anything, but I guess,
Well, well,
everybody.
plug your thing one more time. Plug all your stuff.
Well, I guess when we drop the show, all the links will be dropped in. You can hear me on about any platform except for Apple. Haven't figured that one out yet. And also you can find me on the KUAP Digital Broadcasting, the Troubled Minds Radio Network, which is super amazing. They're doing a live stream right now, which I'm going to be fashionably late for, which is totally fine because this was the best. Yeah, so
It goes
paranormal in
until like 12 o'clock anyway. It's okay.
that's true. Three more. They're going to go for 3 good hours, so we'll be fine.
Yeah. And I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google. What was the other one I'm on? I got one more or something like that. But you can check me out on all AIP. Anything is possible. and which I truly believe it. Anything is possible. If you put your mind to it, you can make magic happen for sure.
including figuring out the Zoom thing.
Yeah, yeah. This is magic right here.
Hopefully it all works. Thanks to COVID, it became a thing. So I
Yeah.
guess
Well, they had it before, but
we
yeah.
use it more now.
But as I always say, eat some chicken grease. It's about to cut off.
All right, my friends, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the collaboration of Paranormal and Proud and Anything is Possible podcast with Ricky Pike. It was definitely a fun experience, and we're definitely going to do it again. And as we learn, hopefully, we'll refine the audio and the recording process and everything. As you all know, who've listened to me before in most of my podcasts, I always try to give a little bit of a positive message. Because I know mental health is such a stigmatized issue nowadays. I mean, it used to be far worse, but there's still a lot of issues out there with people being afraid to speak up and come forward when they're having issues. And just be kind to each other, because you never know when somebody is having a rough time in their life. A lot of people hide it, and I used to be one of those, and thankfully I was able to put that aside and get the help I needed, because it'll eat away at you. And just don't be afraid. There's people out there that care, and there's lots of different resources that you can turn to. I guess all I can do is just keep spreading the message and give as much love and light to the world as I possibly can, and others who do the same. I really appreciate you as well, because there needs to be more of that. It's a really dark place sometimes, and we need to lighten it up a bit. Bring some laughs, bring some positivity. I always say, if I can make one person smile or laugh or just brighten up their day a little bit every day, I've done my job for the day. And that's what really matters in this world, is kindness, love, light. Get rid of the negativity. Anyway, my beautiful people, again, you can find me on the KUAP Digital Broadcasting Troubled Minds Radio. You can also find me on most podcast platforms. I've got my link tree in the comments, and I also have a link to Ricky's podcast as well. I hope you all have a fantastic evening, and always take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Thanks. Have a wonderful night.